everybody, 2020 Eagleman here today with another video. Today's video will be about how to protect and store baseball cards properly. I often get asked this question a lot, so I figured I would make a quick video about the different ways I store and protect my cards and the pros and cons of each way. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe for more baseball card related videos so you can get updates about when I post and such. Your support is greatly appreciated. Okay, to start off this video, I want to stress that one of the great things about baseball card collecting is that everyone collects differently. There is no specific way to collect baseball cards. Having said that, the ways that I prefer to protect and store my cards might be different for someone else, and that's totally okay. So the things I like to consider when talking about different ways to protect and store cards are the cost, how effective is the card being protective, and how well is the card being displayed. The first product that I always recommend to collectors are what are called penny sleeves. As you can see, I have thousands of these sleeves on hand because I almost always use them for my cards. They're called penny sleeves because they literally cost less than a penny each. I tend to buy penny sleeves in bulk because it's cheaper and it's always good to have penny sleeves on you, which is why I have so many on me right now. It's important to note that these sleeves won't 100% protect your cards, but they will mitigate a lot of the common damages we see done to cards, like chipping, scratching, and general wear and tear on the cards. Just putting a sleeve on the card makes it 100 times more protected than without a sleeve. Sleeves will do wonder for you in the hobby, so I highly recommend using penny sleeves for your cards. And you don't have to use them for all your cards, maybe just the more valuable cards for yourself. But one thing to caution when using sleeves though is that you have to pay attention to how you put the card in the sleeves. If you aren't careful, you can easily ding a corner, sliding it in too fast at the wrong angle. So be careful when putting cards into sleeves. Since penny sleeves won't 100% protect your cards, the next thing that I will almost always recommend to collectors are what are called top loaders. Top loaders are like penny sleeves in that they only fit one card at a time, but they are much harder and sturdier than a regular sleeve. This will help in preventing not only scratches and chipping, but also bending and dinged corners. The best combination to protect your cards, in my opinion, is to actually use both penny sleeves and top loaders at the same time. What I mean is put your card in a penny sleeve first and then slide them into the top loader. Plus, using top loaders makes your cards look somewhat good sitting in them. There are also different types of top loaders, such as these ones that have gold foil rookie card text at the top, and these ones which just have different colors running down the side of them. There are also different size top loaders to fit bigger card stocks. Definitely don't try shoving a larger card into a smaller top loader, it will do more harm than good. Top loaders in general typically don't cost too much, but of course they cost a little bit more than penny sleeves. Again, I don't recommend using them for all of your cards, but maybe just the more valuable ones that you want a little extra protection on. The next product that I like to use in moderation, while some other collectors are actually opposed to using them, are called one-touch cases. In my opinion, these are a great way to protect and present your cards. Having a card in one of these makes it look so much nicer, and you don't need a penny sleeve for these. You just place the card inside and gently place the cover on top, and the magnet on top of the case will attract and hold your card in place. These are significantly stronger than top loaders, like they won't even bend, they're pretty solid. The only issue with using these is that they're a lot more expensive. You can buy 100 penny sleeves for less than $1, whereas a single one touch can cost you roughly a whole $1. The plus side to using these is that it will for sure protect your cards, and it will make your cards look a lot more presentable. Another thing I like to recommend is that if you choose to use one touches, use what are called one touch bags. These are really cheap plastic bags that you just slide over the one touch to prevent any sort of scratches on the one touch. I know it might seem a little bit silly to put a sleeve over the case that's protecting a baseball card, but if you're spending a whole $1 on a nicer card and stronger case, you might as well spend a penny or two on a sleek plastic bag to prevent any ugly scratches from appearing on your case. Like this case right here never had a sleeve put on it, and you can see all the ugly scratches that are on it right now. And you want your case to look a little bit more like this, where the card is a lot more presentable, no scratches on it just because of the little cheap bag that was slid over top of it. The next option to store and protect your cards are binders. Binders are great for organizing and presenting lots of cards. You can put up to 9 cards in one binder page, and you can see both the front and back of the cards. Binders are really great for that purpose, but as for actually protecting the cards, I don't think they are that great. For one, getting the cards into the pages typically has a high risk of damaging the cards. You have to be really careful when placing the cards into the binder pages because they can really easily damage them. I've seen it too many times where cards get dinged in the corners because the person wasn't careful enough putting the cards into the page. Also, the pages are pretty flimsy, and if they get bent, the card also gets bent. Another thing that I've seen is that the top row of cards is exposed to the outside, and before I've received a binder of cards from someone on eBay, and the entire top row of cards had like this brown line going across it, and that's because all the cards were exposed to the outside. Binders in general are okay for organizing and presenting your cards, but in my opinion, they aren't the best way to protect them for long term. If we're going to talk about storage of large amounts of cards, we have to talk about storage boxes. These boxes can come in many different sizes, such as the 200 count, 300 count, 400 count, 550 count, 660 count, 800 count, 1600 count, 3200 count, and 5000 count. There are also smaller cases to store cards like these plastic boxes that can store from 1 card each to 100 cards each. These cases are great to store cards, and they are great in protecting them, but as always, be careful when you put the cards in. You can easily ding the sides and corners if you aren't cautious placing them into the case. Same with the boxes as well, just be careful putting cards into them. The boxes typically don't cost too much, but of course the higher storage capacity you get, the more it will cost you. And you also can't see the cards inside of the boxes, but you can see them inside of these smaller plastic cases. And they really aren't the best way to present your cards, but they are perfect for storing lots of cards together. The last thing I want to touch on for this video is card grading. The best way to protect and present your cards is through card grading. Grading a card will put it into a hard and very nice looking plastic slab. The company that slabs the card will also label it and give it a grade from 1 to 10 based on the card's condition, but it typically can cost quite a bit just to get one card graded. And there are many different grading companies like PSA, Beckett, SGC, and Mint, and they all protect and present your cards very nicely. Much like using the one-touch cases, if you're going to get your cards graded, I would recommend using graded card sleeves to protect the case from any unwanted and ugly scratches. If you're paying that much money for a card to be put into a slab forever, you might as well protect the slab so that it looks nicer for as long as possible. Sleeves don't cost much either, and they're really easy to use. Also, I would only slab a card if you have a valuable card that is in great condition. I don't see very much value in getting a common junk wax card that's in poor condition graded. But again, it's up to the collector to what he or she wants. Overall, grading is the best way to protect your cards and put them on display nicely. However, it costs quite a bit, so choose your cards wisely. So there you guys have it. That is my review of what is the best way to protect and store your cards. Hopefully you guys did learn something from this. And again, these are all my opinions based on my experience with collecting over the years. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. If you guys did, go and subscribe for plenty more baseball card videos to come your way. And I will see you guys next time.